Greetings, Dumela, Sawubona, Sakpase, Namaste, Upshin, Dubra Otra, Assalamu alaikum, Hotep. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Doria Larrier, host of the Doria Larrier Show. Pleased as I don't know what to be able to bring my guest this evening. I've been chatting about her over the last couple of weeks. We chatted a few months ago just about like really getting your house in order, getting your coins together. And that was just a short conversation. I said, absolutely not. We have got to come back. We've got to have you join us. And we want to focus on your book. And so on this day, I'm actually wearing a couple of different hats. Yes, this is my show, but this is also in conjunction with the National Council of Negro Women Flatbush section, of which currently I am a part of and have a leadership role in. And so as a part of our SHE initiative, the Social Justice, Health, Economics, Education, Economics, and Entrepreneurship, this focuses on economics and entrepreneurship. Should we be participating and engaging in conversations about money, about finance, about our financial wellness and where we stand, as well as being entrepreneurs? Now, the guest that is going to come on tonight is Sister Mia James, who is an author. She's a financial wellness coach, and she is a sister of mine. And so I wanted to, as you have seen me talk about this book over the last couple of days, we're going to start this 3-week chat. Please share this with all those people who you know they don't talk about money like they talk about other things. So let's right now welcome Sister Mia James.
Hello, everyone. Happy Wellness Wednesday. Thank you so much, Dorio, for having me on tonight. Can you hear me okay?
I sure can.
Awesome. Well, we just want to say thank you all for being here. And I'm super excited to talk to you all about Think, Learn, and Feel Rich, because I don't know about you all, but I'm all about building wealth and legacy for the next generation, as well as being able to enjoy life as we speak. So we're going to jump right in for today because I know we have a short amount of time, but we are going to be interactive. So if you are here live, I would just love to know who is here in the chat. Let me know your name, where you're joining us from, and even if you're catching a replay, I want to know who's watching. So with that being said, you all will see me look to the side because I have 2 screens because we are going to be doing a game today. We'll keep this super interactive. Yay. So with that, yes, right. We're going to have fun today. I'm all about having fun. Finances should be fun, not something that we feel like, ooh, dread, right? Like we might start there, but we don't want to end there. So with that being said, Ms. Doria, would you mind adding my slides to the screen?
Here we go.
Awesome. So tonight, our first topic is your money mindset reset. Okay. And this is based on chapters 1 and 2 of the book. So if you haven't grabbed the book, Dorielle has a special link for you that you can use to grab it. I'm sure she'll put it in the show notes
I sure will.
that you can get that. And that way you can follow along. So this is not like your typical book you just kind of read. It's actually very interactive. So you read a short chapter, and then there's some action steps that we're going to take, because we know that faith without works is dead, right? And so we don't want to be people who just consume knowledge. We actually want to put it into play. And at the end of every chapter, there's action items. And so we're going to be walking through some of those action items on our 3 calls. So let's see here. Let's see if I can go to the next slide. So let's talk about what the wealth equation actually is. And as you can see, I have my quote here: finance is fun. And many of you may have heard this before if you follow anyone like Dave Ramsey, for example. He talks about money being 80% psychology and 20% strategy. And that 20%, let me know in the chat, how many of us can add, subtract, multiply, and divide? Yes, we can all do that, right? Very simple. If you can do those very simple things, you can manage your money. However, what we don't always look at with money, we look at, okay, what is our budget? And I don't even like that word. I like to use the word spending plan. But really, money starts as a mindset first. And that is why we're doing our reset. Okay. So that's super, super important to understand. So, money is definitely not about being a math genius. It's all about what we're thinking in between these two lovely ears. So let's keep going here so we can get to our game. So in terms of figuring out like what is your money mindset, you want to first start, I recommend, I should say, by defining your financial story. So many of you probably don't know me, and I want to introduce myself by telling you a little story about me. So, hey, Junior, welcome. I'm from California. I became an adult in New York City. I really started to discover who I was in Houston, Texas, and then became a married woman and moved back to New York. And my story originated, of course, like I said, in California. And my dad would always say something like, money ain't number one, but it's way ahead of second. My dad also taught us a hustle mentality. Okay. And he was just like, you always got to have a job and a hustle. Like, so that's one thing that I learned, is that you never have one stream of income. I learned money was important. And my dad also taught me how to be an entrepreneur, how to make money, right? So if things are not going, hey, Marilyn, then he was like, you know how to make money out of thin air. So those were 3 narratives that I had in my financial story. So when I was younger, I was pretty confident with money. Let's say, elementary, middle, on into high school. I started investing at 16, and I was eventually able to, oh wow, hey Kathleen from Seattle. I was eventually able to have an opportunity to compete in the stock market as a high school senior. And I was pretty confident, right? Because I had been doing it for a while.
Okay, wait. I got a question.
Yeah.
You participated in the stock market when you were in high school. Was this like a school connected related thing, or was this personally with your family?
So it's 2 separate things. So my parents set me up like a custodial account so I could trade. And then in my high school, there was like in economics class, we had the ability to do like a stock market simulation.
Oh, thank you. Okay, I'll be silent again. Thank you.
No problem. And actually, thank you for that. While you all are listening to my story, I want you to just kind of start thinking back. Grab your journals if you haven't. I want you to start thinking about, what are some financial stories that you have in your life? What are some things you heard your parents say that kind of started to shape your financial beliefs? This is really important, right? Because I'm going to end off with kind of how my belief shifted. So here I am all this time, confident with money. I know how to make money. I know how to invest money. And I'm young, right? So I'm confident. So I come home, I tell my dad, I say, hey, Dad, I was selected to compete in the stock exchange with my classmates. My dad told me, he said, no, you cannot compete because you are a girl. And that completely ruined my confidence with money. Completely ruined it. So it took me a long time to start investing again, which, as we know, time is money. Because I'm not going to go into a whole lesson on that, but I want you to think back to, what were some key lessons that you may have either been taught or that were caught from your family or just in your surroundings that impact how you deal with money today. Another story, as you're thinking through your story, is I learned how to settle for second best, not what I actually wanted, but for second best. You know why? Because I'm from LA. Everything is about name brand and this, that, and the third. Okay. And I wanted Jordan just like everybody else. Well, my parents didn't believe in that. And so my dad would literally be like, I'll give you $100 instead of you buying Jordans. So when I was a kid, I would have $100 bills in my drawer, y'all. Like, so $100 bill to me is like, I mean, I value it, but I've been having it all my life. So what I realized is that, I mean, as a kid, you don't really care about $100 bill. You actually want what you want. But as I grew up, I realized that I would just settle to have something versus the thing that I actually wanted. So when we think about money, money is a tool, right? It can bring us time freedom. It could bring us, in some instances, some people feel it's a measure of safety and security. It can allow you to work fewer hours, or you could be like me. I fired my boss at 40. I was like tired of somebody telling me where I had to be, what I can and can't do. Like, it wasn't for me. And so I had to make sure I had money available to be able to walk away. And then also, most importantly, is generational legacy. Because for me, I don't want my niece and nephews to ever have to take a student loan or rent if I can help. Because student loans set back our net worth. And I have student loans. So I'm not saying, we don't have to have them, but it happens. So if y'all could put in a chat for me, what is something that you want money to do for you? What is something you want money to do for you? I know for me, I want to be a philanthropist. So I actually started a scholarship fund. That is something I want money. It's not actually for me, but I want to be able to give it. So let me know in the chat, what are some things you all want money to do for you? And, when we get off this call, if you have time, I really want you to think about what are some of those defining moments that impact how you relate to money. So let me see some stuff in the chat here because I'm big on the chat. I live for the interaction. So let's keep going. So, the book is called Think, Learn, and Feel Rich. Actually, feel should actually come first, right? Because, well, actually, no, your thoughts. It's in the right order. So your thoughts impact how you feel about a situation, because everything that you have in front of you, like let's say your bank account, for example, if your bank account doesn't have the number that you actually want it to have, for example, you assign a story to what you think about that number in your bank account. But that story doesn't necessarily have to be true. It's just a temporary moment in time that just happens to be what's in your bank account. It doesn't have to always be like that. Maybe before you had a lot more, later you'll have, a lot more. Maybe you had less, whatever have you, but that's just a temporary moment in time. So your thoughts, when you're thinking about your money, it actually impacts how you feel. And tell me this, if you feel anxious about something, are you repelling it or are you attracting it? Let me know in the chat what y'all think. This is a interactive session, y'all. So I want to know what your thoughts are. If you're anxious or you feel fear about something, are you attracting it or repelling it? Yeah, you're repelling it. So if you feel anxious when you look at your money or you're scared, then chances are you're probably repelling money flowing to you with ease, right? Yes, Junior, absolutely. We definitely want to have enough to feel secure. But it all starts with believing that you are secure, you have enough. And then as you continue to change your beliefs, right? So your bank account is an appearance, it's a temporary snapshot in time. You train yourself to believe that I always have enough, I always have more than enough. Over time, and it may not even be a long time, you will start to see a change in your account. But you have to believe it and you have to feel it, which you all have heard the word embody, until it actually manifests. And that is the hardest part, I believe, for all of us, is to hold a belief until we see it happen. Like, do we believe that it's actually going to change? And so a simple example, oh my goodness, time is flying by so fast and we got to get to our activity. A simple example is I got married late in life. in my mind, right, I always knew I was a wife, right? Even though I wasn't at the time, right? I knew I was a wife. I am, I embodied it, the type of woman I needed to be a wife. I tried to embody, what it would feel like to be a wife. And then eventually I became a wife. Now I had to hold it for decades, y'all. Now it took a long time to manifest, but I did not give up on that dream. So you, when you want something and you truly believe something, you hold on to it until it manifests and until you have the feeling that you actually want to have. So the key is with our money, even though it may not necessarily be where we want it to be at this moment, how can we embody confidence and abundance right now? Because believe it or not, even if you have $1 in your bank account, you are abundant. If you live in the US, you have internet, your lights are on, you got water. That's a lot more than a lot of people around the world. And so let's keep going here because we have quite a bit more to cover. So what we want to do is turn our wants into goals. So we're going to do an activity called the why. So you want to ask yourself why 5 times to find a deeper motivation behind why you want something. Oops, not yet. Okay. So I'm going to ask you all to write down one specific financial goal that you have. And remember, it's 80% psychology and 20% strategy. So just one financial goal. Don't worry about the how. Okay. So everybody got something. Let me know in the chat once you have your one financial goal that you want to achieve. It could be paying off debt. It could be saving $5,000. I don't want you to think about the how. That's not relevant right now. Okay. So let me know a 1 in the chat once you have it. Okay, I don't see any ones. So we haven't set our goals yet. And I'm not going to go into the whole SMART goal thing just because of our time constraint. Okay. So Dorielle has her one goal that she wants to achieve. Anybody else have a goal that they want to work on? Okay, thank you, Miss Marilyn. Is that you, Denise? I think that's you. Okay. So the next thing you want to do with your goal, I want you to ask yourself why and write that down. Okay, excellent, Junior. Then I want you to ask yourself why again. Hey, Lisa. Ask yourself why one more time. Okay, ask yourself why a 4th time. And then ask yourself why a 5th time. So at this point, you should be very deep in your motivation behind why you want to do something. So for example, if you said you want to pay off debt, why? Because, it's not allowing you to save as much as you want to save. Why? Because it's a big portion of your income. Well, why? Well, because I had a dream. I invested in my business and I needed some capital to do that. Why? Because I want to help people build generational wealth. Why? Because my grandfather had a wonderful financial plan. He made sure to leave all his kids' houses. He took care of everything for his final expenses and left behind an inheritance. And I want that for every family. So when you're asking yourself why, you want to get down to the deeper meaning. No worries, Denise. So did everybody get down to your a strong, deep why? Everybody feel like, let me know in the chat. And what I recommend you do as an action step is to create quarterly financial goals. Awesome, Dorielle. And if anyone wants to share in the chat, please do. Please do. So When you actually in chapter 1, before we go into this slide, chapter 1 is all about financial goal setting. So if you have the book, you're going to be able to walk through this exercise and plan out your goals as SMART goals and ask yourself why. And there's some journaling pages. Excuse me. Now moving on to chapter 2, which is called Date with Your Dollars. And I am huge on, so I tried to make the book really pretty, right? Because I wanted you to want to pick it up because it's pretty. And I know there's some gentlemen here too. But we all have feminine and masculine sides. So essentially, chapter 2 is about having a date with your dollars. And I believe that, and I know this is probably coming up in a later slide because I say it all the time, whatever you don't manage, you don't maintain. So if we avoid, is not going to make the situation better. It's probably going to get worse. So what I recommend is planning a ritual where you, I have a date with my dollars on Saturday night after my Sabbath because I'm relaxed. I have my cute little mug. This is one of my entrepreneur mugs, right? I pick a cute one, and I have whatever I love to drink, usually coffee. Well, not at night, but probably some hot chocolate. And I love that. So Doriel does hers on the 26th through 30th of the month. Very good. Yes. So I want you, the vibe here is intimacy, not interrogation. So I want you to go into your date with your dollars, no judgment. I want you to go in as a researcher and as the CFO of your life. Okay. And what you're doing is seeing what's coming in, what's going out. Are you okay with that? Do you want to make any changes? All you're doing is gathering information and seeing if any changes need to be made. And I love that, Doriel. Doriel said, oh, let me, I can't do it. I was going to put the comments on the board so you all can see. I really like that she says she uses lo-fi instrumental music. I actually do the lo-fi jazz. Yes, thank you, Simone. Excellent. So your goal is to see if your dollars are going out and making friends, meaning is your money that's sitting in the bank account or whatever type of account actually going out and making money for you. So one thing I want everyone to walk away with tonight is a couple things. One, understanding what income is. Income is not the money you make from your job or the revenue you get from your business. Income is actually money you have left over after you pay your expenses. So some of us have a lot of income, some of us don't have any income, and some of us are on the negative side, right? There's no judgment, but you just want to know where you are, right? And I want you to show gratitude for the money that is coming into your life, because anything that we show gratitude for multiplies. If we're always having that, remember we talked about early, that anxiety, the fear, like, am I going to have enough? Remember, it's called a self-fulfilling prophecy. If we continue to feel that way, then it's going to continue to happen. So when I heard this from Dr. Alicia Watkins, she said that every time she pays bills, she says thank you to the money for being available for her to pay her bills. Right? Denise, hi, sis. Oh, it's so great to see so many of y'all. So, as I said before, I want us to practice radical honesty, okay? And understanding that there's no shame because everyone has a day one. What you're doing today is you're deciding to have a different identity and different intimate relationship with your finances. You're going in looking for information, looking to see if there's anything you want to change or elevate, and also celebrate what's going well. Maybe you're in the past, you weren't able to pay all your bills. Now you're excelling, you're paying all your bills, but you don't know how to invest or something like that. So now it's time to take it to the next level. So everyone, thank you. That's perfect what you said, Doriel. Give yourself grace as you're looking at your finances. So no shame. All we're doing is actually looking for clarity, right? So when you're taking a look at your dollars, and we're going to wrap up here, I want you to look at what you can cut back on, what needs to level up, and what can you automate. Namely, things like savings or bills so that you don't have to worry about late fees and so that you stay on track with the goals that you set. Okay. So remember, whatever we don't manage, we don't maintain. And I want you to set up your first date with your dollars. Sorry, Simone. And I'm going to now turn it back over to Miss Doriel. We're going to wrap up, but we'll be back on the 18th.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm sorry. I'm laughing because people are like, wait, that's it. Listen, we are doing a short 30-minute. This is day 1. We have 2 more dates, and that will be March 18th and March 25th. Now, of course, you definitely wait a minute. So Sister Simone says, it's my birth month. Okay, we're going to let you celebrate, but we're really going to keep the time here because we want to honor people's responsibilities. And we also don't want these things to be like, 2-3 hours. We don't have time for that. We don't. But what we do have time for is to start small, to do one small action. And so again, my date with my dollars, and I actually did the 5 whys, which I always need to kind of every couple of months or what have you, because the whys may change, right? They may change. But to think of my whys, number 1, and also to reinforce the date with my dollars. And it's always between the 26th to the 28th, because I know that I have some things that I don't automate that I want to actually intentionally pay online, but I always think about how much money I still have that I can overpay so I can reduce my, my overall expenses, my overall debts, right? And the debts could be relative. So thank you. Oh my goodness. So I'm actually just going to show this. Ms. Simone, you are fabulous, right? So let me just put up the link first. If you do not have the book, which I pray you do, but if you don't, where is it? Here we go. Let me put up the link again. And I do see, I have to shout out my NCNW sisters. I see you. Purple Power, please share this with other people in your section. Again, this is 30 minutes today, 30 minutes on the 18th and on the 25th. So prayerfully, you'll be able to get the book. It is in the YouTube side. And so you can grab that link in order to share with whoever needs it, whoever needs to start small and do the things that they need to do so we can get better. And let me just put up a couple of more quotes and then we will end. So yes, income is the money left over after you pay your expenses. Show gratitude. Thank you so much, Sister Denise. And please, we're going to make sure that we follow Sister Mia at the Beyond the Busyness. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Miss Simone. Help me get intimate, ma'am. I love it. And yes, you can schedule, a complimentary appointment at Beyond the Busyness. I really, really thank you all. I want to honor your time. Actually, Sister Mia has her own show at 8 p.m. And so if you do want to follow her at Beyond the Busyness, please do so. She'll be popping back on here at 8 p.m. This has been a collaboration with my show, the Doriel Laria Show, as well as NCNW Flatbush, our SHE initiative. SHE is our core 4 pillars, which is social justice, health, education, economics, and entrepreneurship. And tonight's book launch is on the focus of economics, getting our coins in order. Okay, y'all see me do this little promo over the last couple of days, and also entrepreneurship. Did you hear that she said she retired at 40? Hello, 40. So it can be done. I look forward to all of you coming back. And if you need to DM me or ask me a question, you know how to reach me. If not, you can always add a question here. But then also please get your book. Again, share it with someone else who needs to see this. And we will see you next time. Okay, good. I got you, Simone. Excellent. That's right. Bringing Mia to Wealth Wednesday. Absolutely. So good night, everyone. We will see you next time. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Peace and blessings.